we're gonna go ahead and just pick it up from where I was, which was after the marriage component. Since we didn't really hear much of before, really I was talking about the commitment to cloud computing being similar to a marriage commitment, and having something old, something new, something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. So now what we're really going to talk about is, what cloud computing is going to do for you. The traditional IT management on-prem is either feast or famine. You're basically going to buy some equipment, some servers, capacity. That capacity is going to be there for a fixed amount of time. You're going to use it, but you're going to underuse it, and then eventually you're going to overuse it. And then you're going to have to go buy more, and buy more, upgrade, or change. And it just basically you either have too much or too little. In the cloud computing paradigm, you really are going to be able to do it right. You're going to be able to have right capacity at the right time. You're going to be able to provision what you need and deprovision what you don't need. For instance, if you own your own messaging system and you hire 100 new employees, what's the cost to you in provisioning and setting them up? But more importantly, what if you have to unfortunately let go of 100 employees? You still have that messaging system. In the cloud, if you're at 100 new employees, you go procure 100 new cloud mailboxes for them. They would now be there, and if you had to let them go, you'd be able to deprovision them, and you no longer pay for them. So it's just-in-time capacity on demand, which allows you to manage your costs, and it's going to give you a smaller carbon footprint only because the data center can manage data center is going to be a lot better at managing their power consumption than you will be able to with a server sitting underneath your desk. So that frees up basically money, time, and people to work on the stuff that's really need to be worked on, right? I mean, most of the care and feeding of an operating system and of an IT system is going to be janitorial, as we've been discussing. So it just takes that and it gives somebody else that job, and then that allows you to basically focus on new innovative stuff. And you can see all these little comic books that are popping up here, stuff we've added to put some flavor into it. So, in my short time in working in the cloud offering industry, the past 4 to 5 years, I've heard a number of different things. But basically, people are getting really tired of paying for upgrades and, paying for people to understand how to do upgrades. They also have a hard time retaining good IT people. If you get somebody who's really, really good, they go get a better job and higher paying job. And also IT costs are horribly unpredictable. Budgets change every single year. And then security is just tough, and it's really hard to do security. And then, we need to be able to provide capabilities that the employees don't have. So I think I'm going to tag off a little bit here with Mark and let Mark take over on a couple of these topics.
Good evening. Since we're over here in Florida, it's nighttime basically, and it's almost time for me to go to bed. But we're here. We're giving this presentation from the ITT Technical College here in Tallahassee, and this place is great. So I just wanted to give it a few kudos. And Greg, my co-host of this presentation, he's a adjunct professor here teaching a class on operating systems. So we're presenting this presentation to the class. And so what I want to do is I'm going to give kind of a survey of cloud computing, not from a technical perspective, but just from my perspective of what's evolving here and what we're in the middle of. Because to me, it's a real exciting time. Some of the enabling concepts are being able to provision on demand, what Greg was just talking about, being able to say, okay, I've got a system running, and I need to add more resources, be it storage space, computing power, bandwidth, whatever it might be. Being able to easily release updates of your software solution. Having a service-oriented architecture, paying for what you use, and integrating with online services. Some of the other enabling technologies are virtualization, widespread broadband infrastructure. A side note to that, part of the American Recovery Act is to bring broadband to rural America and to places that don't have it, people that don't have it, and a lot of that money is being spent right now. So there's a lot of investment, even as we speak, on making broadband more widespread. There's a Google thing going on where they're going to pick some specific cities and bring a gigabyte, internet access to everybody in those cities. There's cloud APIs. I'm going to talk about those things. There's some service-oriented protocols, SOAP, REST, and JSON. So today's cloud marketplace, again, this is my view of it, but I'm going to go down these one at a time: co-location, host server, managed services, commodity online services, etc. Explain what